Shooter 2 talking shit, Dusty Boots.
G'day, we're in the Dusty Boots studio and we've got James Johnston on. How you going, mate?
Good, fellas.
I think this
How
is
are you?
I think this is the first time we've actually sort of sat down
All
and
of
had a
us.
chat.
Is it
All of
really?
Because
us.
I thought about it before. We were actually talking about it, and I reckon it would have been 2 years ago. Me and you sat down on a Zoom,
Yeah.
and then you played with Kip Moore, and we caught up with you at Kip Moore.
Yeah.
And like we got a photo with you or whatever. But that would have been probably like 2 years ago now.
That actually really, I actually didn't realise that. So
Yeah.
I'm glad we can finally do it. I feel like I
Yeah.
see you guys
We see you
everywhere.
everywhere. That's what I said, though.
I think, it's just running into you all the time, and then.
Yeah.
But I think, we realised we actually haven't sat down with
Yeah.
James. So,
Okay, cool. I'm glad we're doing it. So, good to meet you, fellas. Yeah.
So like you'd just been over like the UK and done some stuff, and I
Yeah.
thought one of the coolest thing was you were on that fan noticed you on the bridge.
Oh, the Tower Bridge.
Maureen.
Yeah. That's it. Yeah,
Yeah,
Maureen.
yeah.
Oh, mate. That, like, you know, these moments, you know, when you have doing this career and you have these like big moments and all that, but sometimes those moments are real powerful. Like I was filming something on the Tower Bridge in London, and this lady just walked past as I was filming. She's like, "You're James Johnston. I love your music, right?" And I just thought that was the coolest thing ever. Like I'm on the other side of the world, just hanging out in like an iconic place, and there's someone that just knows my music. And shout out to Maureen.
Yeah,
appreciate the love.
It's one of the things, like I used to always say it, and I still do, like pinch yourself moments of like, hang on, like pinch yourself a little bit like that. That's one of the moments where you're like, holy shit, and you probably just keep thinking about it too, like what, like how did that happen? But you're like, everything happens for a reason. Like,
Man,
it's just, it's pretty wild how that all happens.
Yeah.
We actually had a chat about this before, but you like to build stuff.
Yep.
Do you actually have a full trade background or nothing to do with any trade background at all?
Absolutely
and
not.
you and your old man built your deck.
Yeah. Dad and I built
yeah.
the deck. It's like
I'm coming to inspect it.
I'm actually pretty proud of my deck.
Yeah.
You know, should make sure I'm not saying that with New Zealand accent. But no,
New Zealand
seriously.
Dixieland.
It's a big deck. So I just, that is honestly my my happy place.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm derailed.
This is what we're about. We like to derail things.
So, no, whenever I got free time, I just start building stuff, and I'm not very good at it, but I just give it a crack, and I sit there watching YouTube videos and figure it out.
I was about to say, is it ChatGPT or like is it like it is, and just like finding out how far apart can this go and that? Because like I love that, the creativity, and even like Troy Casadale the other day was sending me a message. Bill rings and said, "What are you and Troy talking about?" And it was just him sending me logs he was cutting up to like reuse into sleepers and chunks of timber and all that sort of stuff, and he loves that sort of stuff as well. I just feel like it's probably like a space where artists like take their brain completely off being an artist and you're actually focusing on something else. It does it really well.
Absolutely. You know, it's like my brain's going a million miles an hour all the time, right? So I feel like two things that really slow it down. One is riding a dirt bike, which for me it's just like you've got to be hyper present, especially bush riding. Like you know, not out on a track, but if you're in the bush and just like looking for the next rock, you just can't be thinking about anything else. So I really find that pretty relaxing. And weirdly relaxing, right? But the other thing is building. Like I'm just, you know, when you're just locked in, and my problem is that I get really locked in on stuff to the detriment of like the rest of the world around me. So when I'm like, I just finished building this garden for my wife, and I just got so obsessed with building the garden, and I was like, I better hurry up and finish this damn thing, because I haven't thought about music or anything else except for wake up in the middle of the night being like, I wonder how I'm going to join that piece of timber to that. Whatever I'm doing, you know.
We were just going to bring up the garden, because it was a surprise date you had with your wife in the garden.
Oh, yeah.
It was pretty flash, all that. It's looking good.
I was going away for 3 weeks, so I thought I'd better leave with a bang, you know, just like leave on a high. So it was kind of cool. I actually went on Facebook Marketplace, and I was like, you know how I'm going to make this real fancy? And I went and bought this chandelier. Got it for like $30, and it was this real fancy looking chandelier. I bought it off some fella, and hung it up in the middle of the garden. So this garden was all lit up with this chandelier in the middle of it. The thing that you didn't see on Facebook is that if you put a chandelier in the middle of a garden, all the bugs are attracted to it. So we're sitting out there having our romantic dinner, swarmed by bugs. Eventually I turned off the damn chandelier and the bugs disappeared, and we're under the stars.
Yeah.
But it looked good. It looked good for the photos, but it wasn't super practical.
I love it. We're going to redo the Making the 8. We did this a very long time ago, and some of them we might ask, some of them we sort of have. Maybe you might repeat yourself, I guess, but we'll do it again. Who's your biggest inspiration?
2 people. I'd say my dad.
Yep, love that.
And you know what? I'll tell you a quick story. One big reason. My dad's always been, love my mum and my dad. And shout out to mum and dad, because I always give my dad too much credit. Mum was the one running around doing fucking everything. You know, that's the truth. But Dad got burnt real bad. About 6 years ago, 85% of his body got 3rd-degree burns.
Shit.
And barely, he said he wasn't going to make it. Doctors said, say your goodbyes, all that sort of stuff, right? And there's Dad, cast up, you see the pictures, like absolutely wrapped up and everything like that. And I went up to him and he's like, he could barely talk. He's like, I'll be all right. Don't worry about me. We'll get through it. And the thing that gave me a whole different level of respect for my old man was that when the world was seemingly collapsing around him and he was running at the business and all that sort of stuff, it was all going to shit. He was the rock, and never once did he falter from that he was that rock of the family that held it all together, even though he was the one fighting for his life. And I saw my dad wake up, and the doctor said, you're not going to be able to play tennis anymore. You're not going to be able to run your business. Not going to be able to do anything. And he said, no, I'm gonna walk out of here with my boots on, is what he said. And he did. And like 2 months later, he walked out with his boots on, barely could move. And every morning he'd wake up and he'd do one push-up. That was the thing. Got to get out of bed and do one push-up. And not to get too graphic, but his skin was cracking, everything like that, pushing. He'd do one, next morning, do two, next morning, do three. And then I saw him 2 months later, was riding 45 Ks to go to work every day, pushing through, and he'd get to work and he's bleeding and all that sort of stuff. He'd wipe himself off, go to work, go and do it again. And I'm like, holy shit, if that's not a man, and he's providing, and that's impressive.
Too, with that, like coming from me as well, being a father, it creates you to be a strong father too. Like my parents are huge older than me. My old man's worked so hard his whole life. Yeah. And I take so much away from that, and you probably do the same. Like you take so much away from it. Not it's so inspirational to you, but then you're like, well, I want to be that inspiration to my kids.
Absolutely.
So then you take it on board too.
Yeah,
so, yeah. That's
and shout out. I speak to both my mum and dad, but mum, also huge inspiration. The way that she handled, like she obviously got dumped with a whole world of stuff that she had to handle during that time, and she held it all together. So credit where credit's due.
100%.
So I would say, personally, I look up to my mum and dad massively. In terms of music, there's probably two people who have inspired me in two different ways. One was I grew up with Garth Brooks as an entertainer. I used to like watch him, dream about it. That was a huge one. The other one was Lee Kernaghan. I was just the biggest thing with Lee is that growing up small town country boy, that you sometimes felt like you weren't. It was that whole thing. I've got to get out of my town or whatever. And all of a sudden, this fella came in and was celebrating this, like, be proud to be a country boy, be proud from where you're from. Yeah. And it felt to me, it was like, oh, I can be proud that I'm from my little town of Wingham and on the farm and all that sort of stuff. And so that's really stuck with me. So they were both big inspirations for me.
I love it, mate.
100%. Favorite song you've released?
Still this day, it's Raised Like That.
Yeah.
And the songs that I love, but at the end of the day, you can talk about like Garth and Lee. I love performing. I love being an entertainer.
Your stage presence is something else. It's very high stage presence. And I talk about that from different artists, different people that get on stage and show presence. We always talk about it in Dusty Tunes episode, but it's like people like you that are like, I'm on stage and I'm going to step on every single little bit of this stage while I'm up here.
Absolutely, so, and that song, it's still when I get up there and I sing that song, and I open my set with every time because when I wrote it, I said I want to write a song that when you listen to that, you just know me, and that's the introduction to the rest of the world that I'm going to tell you about. So that's why I start my set, and when the crowd is singing with me, man, it puts a smile on my face.
Yeah, you got me singing in the Ariat.
I thought Bill was going to take over.
I was about to rope you in. I was like, come on, mate.
Thing you got in the most trouble for as a kid?
Okay. So I was 16, when it was 17, I would have got my P plates. And Mum and Dad just bought a brand new Hilux SR5, and I may have drowned that thing
in a dam.
Not in a dam, in a creek crossing. You know those creek crossings that like have a concrete bridge?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And that's that. I actually wrecked a lot of cars when I was a young kid. The fact that I walked away from my first car, a Commodore. So I saved up. Spent all my years busing as a kid. They'd be asking like, you made some money busking. Like, I'm going to buy a real cool first car, right? So I brought this like bright green Commodore, like those SV6. Those kind of nasty.
I'm cool.
Yeah, exactly. So I was this kid, brought my bright green Commodore, driving around town. It lasted about 2 months, and I wrapped that thing around telegraph poles. So not something I'm proud of.
Young kids do that.
Not something I'm proud of, but
What song would you love to cover from another country artist?
Oh, that's a good one. I would say probably two. There's two Alan Jackson songs that just stick with me. One is Drive.
Yeah.
Absolutely love, like, still one of my favorite songs of all time. And if I was going to do an upbeat one, Little Bitty.
Yeah.
It's all right.
Yeah.
Little Bitty. Man, I love that song.
Strangest, wildest thing that's happened at one of your gigs?
Strangest, wildest thing.
Be probably from a
Shit.
BNS, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, the
Probably
BNS.
yeah.
But there is a story that goes back. It was down at Eels and Skinners BNS.
Yeah, the bowl.
Which is what we just did a massive raffle for.
Okay, that BNS. I got some people out up onto the stage, and I was like, so here's the competition. So when the first person down the beer wins.
Yeah.
And so when I go 3, 2, 1, and I'm telling the crowd this.
Yeah.
So the first person down the beer, I'm going to tell you this is what you're going to do, and then I'm going to teach you what to do, and then we're going to do the competition. So this is what we're going to do. So when I say drown your beer, I'm going to go 3, 2, 1, turn around. The beer's down.
Yeah.
I got through that 4 times, and they never got to the point where I was like 3, 2, 1. Like they just couldn't. Like no, oh, man. So those BNS balls are just the loosest thing.
I was there that year you played, and I was.
Oh mate.
I was drunk as fuck.
I may have. I don't think anybody remember that.
Yeah.
I may have been
one of
the one
them.
mistake that I got.
Biggest phobia?
Not having a good story to tell at the end of it. When it's all said and done, I
Got some
want to have a
pretty
good
good
story to
ones.
tell to my
Yeah,
grandparents, my grandkids, and that's it.
I love it.
What was the moment you knew you wanted to be a country artist?
I'm one of those lucky few that knew from a very, very young age. At 4 years old, and not shitting you, there's a picture of me with the cowboy hat on, doing the whole thing, singing Garth Brooks. And if you'd asked me back then, I want to be a country singer, and like it's all I've ever wanted to be.
I love that. Last one to wrap up with, mate, is advice for an up and coming artist.
The best advice I could give would be just do you.
Yeah.
And it's something that I'm realizing, and it has taken me a bit of a path to realize. But the best way I can describe it, right, when you're doing music, if you just do you and you go and you are honest about what you're saying and you just be yourself and all the rest of it, you will find a path.
Yeah.
You know, you look at the top tree of country music right now: Zach Bryan, Luke Combs, Morgan Wallen.
Yeah.
They're all totally different artists,
Yeah.
but they're all selling out stadiums.
Yeah.
So there is a place for you. Just tell your story, do it honestly, you know, and just go out there and you'll find your audience.
I love it, mate.
Hell yeah.
Thanks for coming on. We finally sat down with a microphone in hand. We see you all
Good.
the time, but I'm sure we'll sit down again when we're set up
Yeah,
somewhere
yeah.
else and have another yarn, mate. But it's always a pleasure to sit down with you. So
No, it was great.
Good luck.
Thanks, mate.
Thanks,
Appreciate
mate.
it, boys.
Follow Bill, shoot a two, talking shit, Dusty Boots.